Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees who gathered here. I was asked to speak on this small but very, very deep shloka from the Siksastakam. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada harihi. I don't consider myself qualified to speak on this shloka because I have a long way to go in imbibing the spirit of this shloka and following it in my words or actions or thoughts. But somewhere deep within, there is some desire to follow one day. I consider this as an opportunity to remind myself that I need to strengthen that desire. So in this mood, I will try my best based on what I have learned from Mahaprabhu's shloka and the explanations of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada on the shloka, and whatever I have learned from my spiritual master and many other devotees. The meaning is very clear and everybody knows, but just knowing the meaning is not sufficient. We need to repeatedly meditate on the meaning so that we internalize it. We need to attempt to put that understanding into our practical actions and interactions. Then we can assimilate it better. Trinadapi sunichena. Trina means a blade of grass. Sunichena. Nicha means lower. Sunichena, very lower. Trinadapi sunichena basically means to consider oneself lower than a blade of grass. More insignificant than a blade of grass. A blade of grass is so insignificant. So while I was waiting, the last few minutes I was walking in the lawn, standing on the lawn. So many grasses under our feet. So many devotees were there. Some kids were playing with the ball, football. So not a single blade of grass had a protest. All these grasses were humbly tolerating all of us who were trampling, walking. Every blade of grass was standing erect, just bent down when we were keeping our feet on those grasses. No protest. That is humility. Trinadapi sunichena. But Mahaprabhu says, Trinadapi sunichena, don't be humble like that blade of grass. Be humbler than the blade of grass. Being like that itself is too much. And somebody is dominating us, overpowering us, or bossing over us, trying to control us, trying to trample us. Oh my God, not so easy to be humble, remain humble. Yes, yes. You keep your feet on my head more and more, trample me more. So we cannot say that, generally speaking. Most people in this material world cannot say that. Trinadapi sunichena. But Mahaprabhu says, don't just be like this grass, be more humble. The meaning is that it's very natural for a blade of grass to be like that. Because blade of grass is actually insignificant, actually very, very small, on the ground, has no ability to fly, has no ability basically. Just being there. If a cow comes and eats, grass has to surrender. If a man comes and tramples, the grass has to surrender. That is very natural for him. But when Mahaprabhu said, Trinadapi sunichena, be more humbler than a blade of grass, consider yourself lower than a blade of grass, he is saying that Although you have the ability to retaliate, although you have the ability to confront, although you are qualified in 100 different ways, still you consider yourself insignificant. Blade of grass is insignificant. So Mahaprabhu says, don't just think that I'll be like blade of grass, I'll consider myself insignificant. Despite being so significant and talented and qualified and experienced and accomplished, still you consider yourself very low. That is Tranadapi Sunichena. And Srila Prabhupada says, don't be humbler than a blade of grass. Be humbler than a straw on the street. One step ahead, more than Mahaprabhu also. At least blade of grass is grounded, it is connected to the ground, it's green, it's growing. As soon as you remove your feet, immediately it will stand erect, normal condition. But a straw on the street has no possibility to grow, not grounded. It is so insignificant, right? Dry straw on the street and a nice green wet blade of grass. Be humbler than this. So what is this humility that Mahaprabhu or all the Acharyas are talking about? Consider yourself insignificant. How are we insignificant? We are significant because we are parts of Krishna, we are servants of Krishna, we are spiritual in nature, we are not material in nature. If material things in this world are so significant, what is because spiritual things, spiritual beings, naturally we are very significant in one sense. And on top of it, in this material world, people have different powers and positions and privileges. Oh, I am significant. How can I consider myself insignificant? Therefore, your realization of your own significance or insignificance must always be in connection with Krishna, and that is humility. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I am just an insignificant servant of Krishna. That is humility. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and I am an Amsha of Krishna. So considering yourself as soul, if you feel very happy about it, I am connected to Krishna, that is humility. If you take pride in that, that pride is humility. If you take pride in your connection with Krishna, that is humility. But if you take pride in material things, material powers and positions and designations, there is no humility there. Because we are being proud of or we are being happy for something we are not, something which is so superficial, so irrelevant to the soul. The soul is naturally part and parcel of Krishna. If you consider yourself a part and parcel of Krishna, an Amsha of Krishna, then you are acknowledging your real nature, your real spiritual nature. That's wonderful. That is humility. So, in short, humility is to understand Krishna's divinity, Krishna's power, Krishna's position, and realize our own insignificance in comparison to that Krishna's supreme position. That is humility in short. Humility is actually not possible on a material plane. On a material plane, somebody is very humble in front of the bosses or some government officers so that they will pass the application. Most of the times that so-called humility is used as a technique or as a strategy to get things done. We don't want that kind of humility. Real humility is to understand the real position of ourselves. We are souls. We are servants of Krishna. When we really understand what we are, that is humility. So Krishna is Supreme Lord and I'm a small part. He is like an ocean, I'm a small drop. Drop is naturally insignificant in comparison to the ocean, right? A fire spark is naturally insignificant in comparison to big fire. Similarly, the soul is insignificant in comparison to Krishna. So you are acknowledging your own position. We are humble. We are supposed to be humble, right? So the more we are Krishna conscious, the more we are humble. The more we disconnect our consciousness from Krishna, the more arrogant we become, the more egoistic we become, the more self-centric and self-obsessed or self-infatuated we become. We need to come out of that self-obsession, self-absorption. self-infatuation. That is humility. Humility is to stay disconnected from our inflated sense of false ego, taking pride in one's position as a brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi also, as a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra also, as a teacher or student or a engineer or a businessman or a YouTuber or a social media influencer, whatever it could be, hundreds of designations in this world. If we take pride in all these external superficial designations, that clearly compromises on Vaishnava humility, what we are supposed to be. So how does this humility manifest in us? And what are the ways of cultivating humility? Let's see one by one. Humility manifests in a proper philosophical understanding. When we are understanding our tattva, philosophy of Krishna consciousness, when we understand Krishna's nama, rupa, guna, leela, that will help us to understand our own insignificance and be humble. So the more knowledge we acquire by studying scriptures, the more humble we are. But if knowledge of scriptures is increasing our false pride and ego and not our humility, then we have not understood the Shastra only. Right? So Shastric study is one important way of becoming humble. But somehow in this material world, those are scholars of Shastras, they have such inflated sense of false prestige and ego. Where is humility? Our jnana should always be accompanied with vinaya. Vinaya means humility. Jnana is knowledge. So vinaya plus jnana is vijnana. Vinaya means knowledge, humility. Jnana is knowledge. So vinaya plus jnana leads to vijnana. Knowledge accompanied by humility leads to realization. Realized knowledge, not theoretical knowledge. But if we take pride in our knowledge, if we become ahankari, that ahankar plus jnana becomes ajnana. Knowledge accompanied by ego is ignorance. When you combine your knowledge with arrogance, it becomes ignorance. By studying all the Shastras, we understand Krishna's nama, rupa, guna, leela, Krishna's power, Krishna's glories, and we also understand where am I sitting here? I'm supposed to be part and parcel of Krishna, servant of Krishna. I'm supposed to be serving his lotus feet in the spiritual world, but I'm rotting in this material existence, identifying myself with so many temporary, superficial, useless designations. That should make us very humble. That should make us feel very uncomfortable here. What am I doing here? I'm thinking myself as a wealthy person, beautiful person, knowledgeable person, influential person. I'm this, I'm that. My God, none of these designations have any relevance to my spiritual position as soul, as servant of Krishna. I am taking pride in something which I am not. I am being so puffed up and proud of something which has no relevance to my spiritual position as soul, servant of Krishna. That is ignorance. Right? Knowledge that induces pride is actually ignorance. But knowledge that makes us humble is realization, is realized knowledge. Let's cultivate that realized knowledge. So Shastric study helps us understand. Shastric study helps us become humble. By sincerely studying the Shastra in the right spirit, we become humble. Second point, by chanting the holy names of Krishna, we become humble. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Vasudeva, Vipra, a Brahmana named Vasudeva. You know that story? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and embraced this Vasudeva, leper. He had leprosy. Because of the touch, divine touch of Lord Chaitanya's transcendental body, all the leprosy is gone. He got a very handsome, well-built body. Immediately he became very concerned. Oh, Mahaprabhu, I received this special mercy from you. Maybe I'll become proud. How can I remain humble? How can I not become proud? Please tell me. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply said, chant the holy names of Krishna, you will never become proud. Why and how? How chanting makes us humble? Because most people in this material world consider themselves controllers. masters, enjoyers, doers, performers. Great. They're so self-centric. They think more about themselves. Even as devotees also, many times we think more about ourselves, right? But if we start thinking more about Krishna, start chanting his names more than our own names. That's why spiritual master gives Krishna's names to us. So even by being self-centric, if we remember our own name more most of the times, we become Krishna conscious. That's why spiritual master changes our names and gives some spiritual name, put some Krishna's name or Radharani's name there. If other people call us with that name, they become Krishna conscious. If we become more conscious of our name, then also we become Krishna conscious. That's good. The more we chant Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. The more we chant these names of Krishna, the more we come out of that self-absorption. The more we come out of that self-obsession, the more we become Krishna conscious. Therefore, chanting will make us humble. Most of the conditioned souls think about themselves, chant their own names, want to see their glories spread everywhere, want other people to talk about themselves, right? All this social media is expressing one's own self-centric nature many times, most of the times, right? But if a devotee chants the names of Krishna constantly, repeatedly, always, as many times as possible, that will help us come out of that self-absorption, and that will help us become humble. So the practical, after understanding the importance of cultivating humility, the practical ways of cultivating humility is to study Shastra sincerely, study the scriptures sincerely, and chant the holy names of Krishna sincerely. That will make us humble. And also to associate with devotees who are very humble at heart. Hear from them, see them, observe them. A humble devotee never thinks of oneself better than anyone. And what are the other symptoms by which we recognize that somebody is humble? Not someone who doesn't do anything. Sometimes people just sit in a corner, they don't do anything. I'm not qualified to do anything. There's some service. I'm not qualified to do that service. Prasadam serving, plate cleaning, or whatever it may be, small or big. Sometimes, of course, if you can't do that service, please say it honestly. Don't volunteer and mess it up. Sometimes when people are too over-enthusiastic to do some service, they will mess up. Instead of contributing for the service, they will create a lot of disturbance there. But be honest, but at the same time, humility lies in grabbing an opportunity to serve Krishna despite lacking the ability. How? Because when we are overly conscious of our own abilities and inabilities, that we are being self-absorbed. But if we depend on Krishna, take up some service, although it's little difficult apparently, still you take up that service and express your dependence on Krishna. Krishna, you have given me this service, please allow me to do this service. Srila Prabhupada has a beautiful picture there, I was seeing that. Srila Prabhupada, when he came to the West, he was thinking, will these people understand what I will speak? My accent is different, I'm an old man. Krishna, you please make my words relevant for them. Please make me speak things that they can resonate with. So in such a humble state of mind, just considering himself as a menial servant of his spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada came to the West to spread Krishna consciousness as a humble instrument in Krishna's compassion, Lord Chaitanya's compassion, his own Guru's compassion. Srila Prabhupada said, Srimad Bhagavatam is traveling to the West as a humble menial servant of Srimad Bhagavatam. I am accompanying Srimad Bhagavatam. He never thought that he is carrying his message of Bhagavatam. He thought that message of Bhagavatam wants to go there, let me just assist. I'm an assistant to this message of Bhagavatam. That is his humility. Humility also lies in not craving for credit, not hankering to be honored by others. Prabhupada, after accomplishing so much, after writing so many books, after translating so many scriptures, after establishing so many temples, at the end of his translation of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada humbly writes, if there is any credit for my translation work, all that credit goes to my spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. No credit for me. And also the credit goes to my American disciples who assisted me in printing and publishing this work. No credit for me. I am not a scholar. I am not a devotee. I don't have so much devotion. I don't have so much of scholarship. Prabhupada is saying. Bhakti Vedanta Swami says, I don't have bhakti, I don't know Vedanta. I don't have devotion, I am not a scholar. Whatever is happening by my Guru's grace, by Krishna's grace, by Lord Chaitanya's grace. This is humility. Humility is not to maintain a low profile in service. Do your best in service. Be like a go-getter and do whatever you can in doing that service, but give all credit to Krishna. Humility is not just not even taking up that service, doing the service very effectively, as much as humanly possible, but giving all credit to Krishna. Right? And also, humility lies in taking a step back whenever your services are not needed. Being very enthusiastic in doing service is great. And giving credit to Krishna is also wonderful. That is one facet of humility. Another facet of humility is when the Lord or the Guru or some other senior Vaishnavas, they want another devotee to serve. You withdraw, you take a low profile. You want an example? Practical example is Hanumanji. In Ramayana, Hanumanji was given the most prominent role. Ramayana has multiple parts, from Balakanda, then Ayodhya Kanda, Aranya Kanda, Kishkinda Kanda, then comes Sundara Kanda, which is considered the most beautiful part of Ramayana. But in Sundara Kanda, hardly Ram had any role. Ram just took a back seat. He made Hanuman the hero. Hanuman, you go ahead. You please cross the Lanka ocean, find Sita Devi, you tell me. By your assistance, I will go and kill Ravana. I cannot do. So, during Ramayana, Hanumanji did so many things, so much service to Krishna, so much service to Lord Ramachandra. And in the best and the sweetest part of Ramayana, Lord Ramachandra highlighted Hanuman so much. Hanuman, you are the boss now. I will sit in Kishkinda Kanda, I will carry in separation from Krishna, you do all action part. And Hanumanji also brought the Sanjeevani mountain when Ram and Lakshman fell in the battle. Hanumanji did so much service. He consoled Mother Sita, he burnt Lanka, he did so many things. But when it came to Mahabharata, Krishna had a different decision. This time Hanuman is not the hero. Arjuna is the hero. Bhima is the hero. The Pandavas are the heroes. I will take a low profile by driving the chariot of Arjuna. Let Pandavas conquer all the enemies. Let Pandavas kill this Duryodhana, Dushyasan, Karna, Shakuni. And what will Hanuman do? Hanuman will just sit on the flag of Arjuna and keep blessing him like this. Such a powerful warrior. One who had accomplished so much in Krishna's service, in Ram's service. He was asked to take a low profile. This is humility. Humility is not in being overly enthusiastic and eager to render service. That is one facet of humility, definitely. But another facet of humility is to understand that your services are not needed at that moment and keep quiet. Chant Hare Krishna. That service nobody can take away from you. Nobody can take away your bead bag or Bhagavatam from you. This B and B, bead bag and Bhagavatam, are always with us. Nobody can take away that service from us. Meditate on Krishna. But all other services, we get opportunities sometimes, we may not get opportunities sometimes. Humility lies in grabbing that opportunity whenever it comes, and humility also lies in keeping quiet when the opportunity doesn't come. We cannot just keep on intruding. Krishna, I'm here. Don't you understand that I'm here? I need some engagement. I need to be active. Krishna will simply say, go and remember me. Go and discuss my glories with other people. So many conditions also are moving around. Or just sit and meditate on me. Chant Hare Krishna, chant some extra rounds. But if we are keeping on demanding attention from Krishna, that is not humility. Krishna or Guru Maharaj, Gurudev. Sometimes we want Guru's attention. Sometimes we want the attention of a senior devotee. Sometimes we want the attention of people around us. Even common people. Meri awaaz suno. Right? Just listen to me. I am here. Acknowledge my presence. No need. It's okay. When your services are needed, don't withdraw yourself. Do your service to the best of your ability. Use whatever strength and experience and expertise you have in doing that service nicely. That is humility. But when it is not needed, when your service is not needed, just let's understand. Let me keep quiet and chant Hare Krishna. That is humility. Also, humility lies in not comparing oneself with others. Krishna has given us some gifts, some talents, some skills, some privileges, some opportunities. Let's utilize them and serve Him. But if Krishna has not given us something, and He has given those things to other devotees, let's not feel envious of them. Envy and humility are totally opposite to each other. Pride and humility are opposite to each other. Envy and humility are also opposite to each other. When we are unable to stay comfortable seeing another devotee flourishing in bhakti, that's lack of humilityness. Krishna has sanctioned that opportunities to that devotee. Krishna has empowered the devotee to do whatever he or she is doing. Why am I feeling uncomfortable? Why can't I humbly accept Krishna's decision? Why am I interfering with Krishna's decision? If Krishna has given so many opportunities and skills and privileges to that devotee to render that service, or to be where he is or where she is, why am I unnecessarily interfering with that? Let me keep quiet. Let me do my service. So humility also lies in accepting oneself for what one is. Let me accept myself the way I am, the way Krishna has made me. You can always improve yourself, but you don't have to prove yourself. So you humbly try to improve yourself, that's fine. But if you try to prove yourself, especially in comparison with others, there is no humility there. It is arrogance. It is hankering for respect, hankering to be honored by others. That clearly interferes with our Vaishnava humility and will not please Krishna with such an attitude. For example, Krishna chose to drive the chariot of Arjuna. Did Yudhishthira Maharaj come for a competition? Krishna, you should drive my chariot. Because I am the one who is going to sit on the throne of Hastinapur. You better drive king's chariot, not a subordinate's chariot. Arjuna is my subordinate. He is my younger brother. Yudhishthira Maharaj just accepted. Krishna, you want to drive his chariot? You want to speak Bhagavad Gita to him? No problem, please, go ahead. Did Bhima come for a competition? Okay, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Dharmaraj, he is very sober, calm, composed, mature devotee. So therefore, he did not object when Krishna chose to drive the chariot of Arjuna. What about Bhima? Bhima is known to be very aggressive. But Bhima also never came for a competition. Bhima did not say, Krishna, have you forgotten? I am the one who has taken a vow to kill all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. I am the one who is going to kill Duryodhan, Dushasan, all these people. Our prime enemy is Duryodhan. I will kill him. You know that. I have taken a vow. Therefore, you should drive my chariot. You should be with me. You will also get some glory, you understand? I am the most prominent warrior on the side of Pandavas. Even Duryodhan also says, our army, Kaurava army, is headed by Bhishma, who is a most experienced military general. And there the strongest warrior is this Bhima, who is not so experienced. So Bhima is most prominent. But Krishna never chose to drive Bhima's chariot or be with Bhima. So none of the Pandavas had any objection. They never felt any jealousy or envy towards Arjuna because Krishna is there with Arjuna, not with others. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Others also, if they are qualified, they will hear, definitely, no doubt. But still, because Krishna is giving extra attention to Arjuna, that did not create any feeling of insecurity in the hearts of other people. Subtly these are there in the heart of a struggling sadhaka. We should never think that I am freed from all these symptoms. Somewhere deep within they are there. Humility lies in acknowledging those impurities within us. If we don't humbly accept the impurities within us, we will never grow. Humility also lies in realizing that yes, these impure tendencies of jealousy, envy, insecurity, pride, desire for attention, desire for acknowledgement, desire for recognition is there in me. They may not look as gross as lust or anger, but they are there, they trouble us, they obstruct our bhakti. We need to acknowledge them, we need to eradicate them. To acknowledge them, we need to have humility. If there is no humility, even if you know, I am feeling insecure seeing the prosperity of the devotee, how can I be envious? I am non-envious devotee. Nirmat saranam satam vedam. I am understanding Bhagavatam. Right? I understand Bhagavatam so much. I cannot be insecure. I give seminars on eradicating insecurity. How can I have insecurity? We may think like that. Maya will cheat us. Maya has her own ways to make us feel that we are humble and make us victims of pride. Maya will make us feel that we are very, very humble, and that's how she makes us victims of pride. We become proud of our humility. I am so humble. I am so proud that I am so humble. Completely conflicting emotions. Don't underestimate Maya. If you are really humble, you will not underestimate Maya. If we are not humble, we will underestimate Maya and overestimate ourselves. Despite Maya's allurements and temptations and distractions, I will continue to remain humble and stable in this mood of humility. We will think like that. Misfortune. Such people should be kept in ICU, spiritual ICU, intensive care unit, so that they become humble. Krishna will take them into ICU sometimes. Krishna may take us into ICU, we have the tendencies. As we spend more time in bhakti, as we become more and more senior in bhakti, the tests of Maya become more severe. Maya attacks on our integrity. Maya attacks our humility. Initial days of Krishna consciousness, we are very humble. We keep on respecting everybody, Prabhu, this and that. But after we gain some experience, if you become a little seasoned, that respect goes down, self-absorption goes up, and all this happens so subtly that we don't even realize it. We think that I am getting seasoned, I am in good standing. Very, very precarious. The more we spend time in Krishna consciousness, the more we need to reflect. Yeah, this is the way I need to introspect and identify my shortcomings and work on them in the association of devotees. Right? Humility and gratitude are related to each other. In fact, humility and all other Vaishnava qualities are connected to each other. Even this shloka, Tranadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena, where Mahaprabhu speaks 4 qualities. One is humility, second is tolerance, third is respecting everyone, then freedom from false prestige, not expecting respect from anyone. All three are rooted in humility only. In fact, Jiva Goswami says that humility and Krishna Prema are non-different. Krishna Prema is our ultimate goal, right? The goal of spiritual life is to attain Krishna Prema, Bhagavat Prema, love of God. That Prema is non-different from Dainya. Dainya means humility, Prema means love for Krishna. So when a devotee becomes so evolved in Krishna consciousness and becomes a Premi Bhakta, or a devotee on the platform of love of God, their maximum humility is exhibited. Srimati Radharani is the epitome of Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema Mayi Radha. Krishna Prema Mayi Radha means Radharani is filled, her entire existence, her body, her mind, her words, her entire existence is filled with Prema, Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema Mayi Radha. And she is so humble. Because she is filled with love for Krishna, she is so humble. She is so humble that she doesn't think of herself better than anyone else in the entire cosmos. Yet she understands Krishna's moods better, and she doesn't hesitate in connecting with Krishna and doing that services. As I said, humility does not mean withdrawing yourself from an important service that only you can do and others cannot do. Please go ahead and do that service. That doesn't compromise on your Vaishnava humility. But even while doing the most exciting and most prominent services, a devotee is naturally humble, and that's what Radharani exhibits. She never thinks of herself better than anyone. Whenever she recommends a devotee, she says, "Oh, Krishna, this devotee is better than me. Please accept this devotee. I don't have so much devotion like this devotee. Please accept." Krishna is obliged to accept. Out of his humility, you know what Narada Muni said in the 7th canto of Bhagavatam, 1st chapter? He said, "These demons are more Krishna conscious than me." Demons like Tamsa, demons like Shishupal, demons like Hiranyakashipu, they are better in their Krishna consciousness than me. Because they're constantly, 24 hours in a day, they're remembering Krishna. I am unable to do so. I cannot remember Krishna 24 hours in a day. Narada Muni is saying this out of humility. But we should feel like that. Sometimes atheists are more absorbed in Krishna in hating him, than a devotee struggling sadhaka who is not sufficiently absorbed in Krishna in loving him. So this is what we see from Narada Muni's example. Whether it is Narada Muni or Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, for example. When Narasimhadev appeared and he killed Hiranyakashipu, he just pulled out his intestines and wore them like garlands. Then Brahma came to Prahlad Maharaj and said, "See, Narasimhadev is very angry. He is not giving up his angry mood even after the death of Hiranyakashipu. We all tried to appease him. We all tried to please him. All the Yakshas and Kinnaras and Gandharvas and Kimpurushas and Charanas and Vidyadharas and Apsarasas or Manus, Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu Parshadas, all kinds of celestial beings offered their heartfelt prayers to Narasimhadev. The 7th canto, 8th chapter, 2nd half is filled with their prayers. But Narasimhadev is still maintaining his angry mood. Nobody could pacify Narasimhadev. Then Brahma came to Prahlad Maharaj. "Prahlad, only you can pacify him. All of us failed to pacify him. Only you can pacify him. Go." The very fact that someone approached us to do some service which 100 other people have failed to do so makes us feel proud. Arey, ye sab log kar nahi paya. I am able to do it. You have not yet done it. You have not yet done it. Still, we feel that we have already done it because we are approached. That will make us feel little special, feel very proud. But Prahlad, he accepted that opportunity to appease Narasimhadev. When Brahma told Prahlad, you go and offer prayers, immediately Prahlad grabbed that opportunity. He did not say no. But as soon as he went to Narasimhadev, he said, Brahmadayaswara gana munayotha siddha sattvaikata nagatayo vachasam pravahaihi. Brahmadaya Swaragana. So many devatas headed by Brahma failed to appease you, O Narasimhadev. Brahmadaya Swaragana Monayo Atha Siddhaha. So many sages failed, Siddhas, so many perfected beings failed. What am I? How can I appease you? Brahmadaya Swaragana Munayotha Siddha Sattvaikatana Gatayo Vachasam Pravahi. They are in Sattvagun. I am in Rajogun and Tamogun. I am a demon. Prahlad says. All these Devatas and sages are in Sattvagun. Brahma is in Sattvagun. And I am a demon. I am the son of Hiranyakashipu. I am born in a demonic family. I am fully absorbed in Rajogun and Tamogun. How can I please you? Vachasam Pravahi. Their words are coming like streams of nectar. They are so eloquent. They are expert in their language, Sanskrit language. But I am a 5-year-old child. What eloquence do I have? I neither have eloquence nor Sattvaguna. Sattvaikata nagatayo vachasam pravahaihi naradhitum purugader adhuna pipipru kim toshtumarhati same harirugrajatehi kim toshtumarhati. What attempt can I make to satisfy you? I am coming from Ugrajati. The first thing that he ever said in front of Narasimhadev is, I am not qualified to appease you. I am filled with so many shortcomings and faults and disqualifications. In this mood, he offered a few prayers. And finally, he made up his mind saying that Narasimhadev, although I have so many disqualifications, your mercy is greater than my disqualification. Therefore, I will offer prayers. Right? This is humility. Humility lies in understanding that although I am not qualified to render some service, Krishna will make me qualified. His mercy is my qualification. His mercy surpasses all my disqualifications. This is the mode of a Vaishnava. This is what we need to aspire for. Prahlad Maharaj or Haridas Thakur. Once Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Haridas Thakur, come sit here, take prasad. He did not sit. He said, Oh Lord, you please have prasad. Later, I will beg some charity from Advaita Charya after you finish your prasad if something is left. And he left. In humility, he rejected an opportunity to sit with next Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in humility, Prahlad Maharaj grabbed an opportunity to pray to Narasimhadev. Got it? Whom should we follow? Therefore, humility is not a strategy. You follow their spirit. In either denying an opportunity or accepting an opportunity, both of these devotees are humble. Oftentimes Haridas Thakur is compared to Prahlad Maharaj. Both are humble. Out of humility, a Vaishnava may sometimes reject an opportunity. Out of humility, a Vaishnava sometimes may accept an opportunity. But the underlying mood is humility. When to do what? There is no strategy, there is no black and white rule there. But whether they accept or reject, the mood is humility. That is clear. Right? Is my mood humility? Sometimes you may think, oh, Prahlad Maharaj accepted an opportunity. Let me grab that opportunity. We may follow his action, but we may not have his emotion. Sometimes we say, Haridas Thakur rejected this opportunity. Let me also reject. We may follow that action, but we may not have his emotion. Right? So Vaishnava culture is to imbibe that emotion more than imitating the actions. Let's not imitate the actions of great souls. Let's try to imbibe their emotions. That is humility. Humility is not inferiority complex. Humility is not self-pity. Humility is not depression. Humility is not being so distressed, morose, sad, always feeling oneself deprived of something. In humility, we become jolly, we are happy. Because a humble person doesn't have to carry the burden of envy or pride or arrogance or material powers or designations or positions or identifications. Because a humble devotee is relieved from all these burdens, humble devotee is so jolly and happy and excited. Right? Because self-absorption is the greatest burden that we need to carry. Pride is a very heavy burden that we carry. Arrogance is, my God, such a heavy burden to carry. Egoistic tendencies, and overly identifying oneself with so many designations and powers and privileges and positions, such a heavy burden on ourselves, my God, very difficult to carry. Humility means to throw that load somewhere else. Merge that in the Pacific Ocean. Throw it like this. We detached from the egoistic tendencies. That is humility. Then we feel very light, very happy, very relieved. Humble devotee never holds any grudge in the heart. That's another heavy thing. So, some practical ways of cultivating humility we already discussed. One is to chant the holy names of the Lord. Second is to study Shastra. Third is to associate with humble devotees. And also perform menial services that do not require any specialization. Offer obeisances to Krishna and his devotees. That will make us physically humble. Also, internally feel that gratitude towards other devotees. Be grateful for whatever little favors that you receive, whatever little help that you receive from others. Be grateful. If we think we deserve something, that compromises on Vaishnava humility. We should not think that we deserve anything. Although I don't deserve it, I am getting so much. That mood is humility. That will make us feel grateful. If you think I deserve it, then where is the question of humility? Then we will demand it, which is totally against Vaishnava culture. We cannot demand. Yes, I am so experienced, so great, so senior. People should respect me in this way. People should treat me in this way. People should acknowledge me in this way. That will interfere with our gratitude and humility, and we will not be able to clear that finer tests in Krishna consciousness. There are some gross tests, no meat eating. We can pass this test very fast. Right? Those who come in contact with Krishna consciousness by eating our Krishna conscious pizzas, Krishna conscious dosas, prasadam, Krishna prasadam, elaborate menu, pure vegetarian food, Krishnatarian food. We advertise in multiple ways. We can easily give up meat eating. But these gross tests are very simple to clear. They're like kids play video games, right? You don't play, right? You're very good. I know. Nanda Kishore doesn't play video games. So, sorry, if other kids are playing video games, no offense to any one of them. Right? No offense to even kids also. But still, in playing video games, sometimes the initial levels are very fast. To encourage the kids, they will put the initial 1, 2, 3, 4 levels very, very easy. But later comes greater difficulties. To clear the later levels, my God, it's like too much. When many years back, maybe almost 20 years back, when this new phones came, Nokia phone with a 3.5-inch screen or 3-inch screen, not even 3, I'm sorry, it's less than a 1.5-inch screen. that my uncle had one Nokia phone. In those days, color screens were very new. It was in my BTech time, I think maybe. So when this phone came, there's some ball game there. I was trying to play. So much my fingers were paining also. I was playing that. On ball, you have to take the ball to a destination, tossing so many obstacles. Initial levels I clear fast, but later levels very difficult to clear. Similarly in bhakti also, initial overcoming gross anarthas, it's easy, right? Gross material bad habits, it's easy. But my God, that subtle anarthas of envy, insecurity, pride, arrogance, jealousy, being unable to maintain our calm and cool and composure when other devotees are getting more opportunities than us. Why is he chosen? Why am I not chosen? Right? So these overcoming this and becoming very blissful and peaceful in just chanting Hare Krishna, in just eating whatever is available, in just reading Prabhupada's books, and be happy and content in bhakti. Very, very difficult to attain this stage. After spending some time, you feel, I deserve this privilege. I need this treatment. I need this respect. And that's what will make us feel imbalanced and uncomfortable in bhakti. Very unpleasant experience. But we see the examples of so many devotees. They are so happy. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was glorifying Sanatana Goswami left, right, center in front of Haridas Thakur. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, Sanatana Goswami, you are so glorious. Once Sanatana Goswami planned to give up his body because he had some sores and some itching sensation and some disease he developed, because of which there is some blood and pus all over his body. He thought this body is useless. With this body, I cannot even enter Jagannath Puri temple. I cannot take darshan of Jagannath ji. And with this diseased body, I cannot even serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What's the use? On an auspicious day of Ratha Yatra, I will throw myself under the cart of Jagannath ji and I will give up this body. He planned like that. With that plan, he came to Jagannath Puri, all the way from Vrindavan. One day Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Sanatana Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, if by giving up my body I can attain Krishna Prema, I am willing to give up my body hundreds of times and thousands of times. Then Sanatana Goswami understood. Oh, how did Mahaprabhu know my plan to give up this body? Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started explaining. And Sanatana Goswami also kind of justified his decision or his plan. Mahaprabhu, you are Paramatma, you can understand everything. I am not surprised that you understood my intention to give up my body on Rath Yatra day. But I had something to say. Please tell me, what is the use of this body? What's the use of this body? I cannot enter Jagannathji temple. I cannot serve in any way. What is the necessity to maintain such a useless body? It's like a burden only. Therefore, I want to take darshan of Jagannathji when he comes out of his temple and see this Rath Yatra and then give up my body. That's good, right? Good point. Good plan, isn't it? Mahaprabhu said, your body is not your body, it's my body. Because you have surrendered yourself to me. Your body, your mind, your words, your time, your resources, your talents, your skills, your experience, everything belongs to me. How can you destroy someone else's property? Your body is my property. Mahaprabhu says, everything belongs to me. And if you destroy this body, I won't be able to complete all the projects that I have planned. You planned this suicide and I have made another plan. I have made so many plans for you. Through this body only, through you, I want to excavate all the holy places of Vrindavan. I want to rediscover all the lost pastime places of Krishna. I also want to erect so many holy places and start temples of worship. And I want you to also write books describing Vaishnava Sadachar, Vaishnava etiquette, describing Vaishnava culture, I want you to write books on Krishna Leelas, Krishna Tattva. I have made so many plans. And you want to put a full stop to all my plans by giving up this body? Your body is mine. Like that, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorified Sanatana Goswami like anything and disapproved his plans. Humility lies in considering oneself property of Guru, property of Krishna. My life is not my life. My life is meant for the service of my Guru, service of Srila Prabhupada, service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This body is not my property. This mind is not my property. Whatever I have is not mine. It all belongs to Guru and Krishna. So I need to take care of them. I need to take care of the body nicely. I need to take care of everything that I have nicely so that I can effectively use it in Krishna's service. If I use this body or whatever I have for sense gratification, sense enjoyment, or anything which is not in line with the teachings of my spiritual master, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not being humble. That is humility. Utilizing every time. We have time, right? Time is at our disposal. 24 hours in a day Krishna has gifted us. Humility lies in utilizing all these 24 hours in the day in Krishna's service. If we waste 1 hour or 2 hours in something else, which is non-Krishna conscious, we are not being humble. We are being arrogant. Krishna has given us this time. Krishna said, Kalosmi. And we are not using that time in Krishna's service. We are using that time for satisfying our material mind, material senses. Is that humility? I'm speaking to myself. Don't take offense. And don't think that I'm on that level. If you think so, that's your problem, not my problem. I'm clarifying it. I'm clarifying that I'm not on that platform. But because I was told to speak on this topic, so I'm trying to speak the facts. Right? I'm also work in progress, trying to implement these principles with your blessings. So, if we waste time, that compromises humility. If we misuse our body, if we use our body for things that are not in line with the teachings of Guru, Krishna and Vaishnavas, then we are compromising on Vaishnava humility. Further, Sanatana Goswami, when he was glorified by Lord Chaitanya, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed all the plans that he has for Sanatana Goswami, Sanatana Goswami definitely gave up his plans to give up his body, and he felt happy and grateful. Then Mahaprabhu left. Long story, but I am keeping it short. Mahaprabhu left from that place. Then Haridas Thakur came to Sanatana Goswami. He was hearing the whole conversation. Haridas Thakur said, Sanatana Goswami, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is planning to utilize your body, your life for so many important services. And Vrindavan Dham is the abode that Mahaprabhu has given you. Mahaprabhu was longing to stay in Vrindavan. As soon as he took sannyas, he was running towards Vrindavan, to be there, to stay there, to be absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radharani. But Nityananda Prabhu came and diverted him to Shantipur. And from Shantipur, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mother Sachi Mata decided, let Mahaprabhu make Jagannath Puri his headquarters. Mahaprabhu humbly agreed. He settled in Jagannath Puri. So Mahaprabhu's dream or his plan or his desire to be in Vrindavan, he has given up out of his humility to fulfill the desires of his mother. Of course, there is another transcendental plan there. We'll discuss all of it later. Now we are focusing on the theme of humility. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given that Dham, Vrindavan, which is very dear to his heart, to Sanatana Goswami, to Rupa Goswami. Haridas Thakur said, see, Mahaprabhu wanted to stay in Vrindavan. He has given you that spot for your service. Prabhudatta Desha. This area is meant for Sanatana Goswami to serve in. Sanatana Goswami gave his life for the service of Vrindavan, for the service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Dham of Vrindavan. And Haridas Thakur started glorifying Sanatana Goswami in so many ways. Then Sanatana Goswami said, Haridas Thakur, you are glorifying me so much, you are encouraging me so much, but what about you? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended on this planet to spread the holy names of Krishna. The Yuga Dharma is chanting Krishna's names, and he made you the Namacharya. Haridas Thakur, you are Namacharya. You are the greatest authority of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Some people preach, but they don't follow. Some people follow, they may not be able to preach. Some people who are able to follow so many things, they don't have that skill or that inclination to go out and preach and articulate their emotions or present their actions in an actionable way for others to follow. They lack that ability, some of them. And some people, they are eloquent speakers, but hardly any following. But Haridas Thakur, you do both. You do Achar also, you do Prachar also. Right? You are personally chanting the holy names of the Lord 192 rounds in a day, and you are also spreading the holy glories of holy name. You are so fortunate. Humility also lies in recognizing the glories of other devotees. Lack of humility means to be so absorbed in our own quote-unquote glories. Our own talents, our own skills, our own accomplishments. That is lack of humility. But real humility lies in understanding how glorious other devotees are. Not only in understanding how glorious Krishna is. A Kanishtadhikari is one who understands Krishna's glories, who worships Krishna, but he misbehaves with other devotees. He doesn't respect other devotees properly. But an advanced devotee is one who respects every single living being as Krishna's servant. Every single living being gets respect from an Uttamadhikari, advanced devotee. If you want to really advance in bhakti, not that we want to become Uttamadhikaris, but if you want to advance in bhakti, let's respect everyone for whatever they are. I have love for Krishna, but not for this devotee, for any of us. That's not humility. Whatever they are, whether they are younger ones or older ones or they are juniors or seniors or equals, we need to respect everyone for what they are. 7:34. How much time do we have? May I humbly ask? 10 minutes. Okay. That's about humility. Then tolerance. Tolerance means, I'm supposed to speak 4 qualities in this session. One quality I spoke for 1 hour. In last 10 minutes, I'll wind up 3 qualities. As I said, humility is the basis of all the other 3 qualities. So we discussed sufficiently. So coming to tolerance, tarorapi sahishtuna. When you throw a stone at a tree, the tree has no ability to retaliate. The tree cannot come back with a stone. Oh, you threw a stone at me? Let me throw a branch on you. Tree cannot throw a branch on us. Even if it's a thorny tree, tree doesn't say, let me throw some thorns on you. But we may have the ability to throw some tantrums on others when others are trying to bother us. Still, if we choose to retaliate, if we choose not to retaliate, if we choose to keep quiet, if we choose to tolerate, that is a facet of humility. We have to tolerate our own internal anarthas. We have to tolerate the inconveniences come physically on us, and we also have to tolerate the internal happiness and distress, and we also have to tolerate the insults. Nindanastava satkara nyakarartham kalevaram. We need to understand that this kalevaram, this body is meant for ninda, criticism, satkara, praise, nyakara, disrespect, or we may be ignored by others. This is what this body is meant for. So please understand that nothing happens randomly. Everything happens as a result of our own past deeds. whether they are pleasant experiences or unpleasant experiences, the results of our own past deeds. Let's accept them. Let's accept. Endure them with tolerance and become recipients of Krishna's grace. Let's not complain so much. However, in the name of being humble and tolerant, we should not and we need not allow ourselves to get exploited by others. We discussed it recently in some session. I don't know how many of you were there. So in the name of humility or tolerance, we should not allow ourselves to get exploited by others. You can tolerate happiness and distress. You can tolerate heat and cold. Don't tolerate injustice. Especially if it is within your authority and capacity and responsibility to address something which is inappropriate, please do it. Don't say that I am humble, therefore I am not addressing it. I am very tolerant, therefore I am not addressing this issue. That is not tolerance. That is negligence. When it goes beyond your capacity, just keep quiet, tolerate. What can we do? But when it is within your capacity, within your authority, and within your responsibility to address a situation, please address it. So we need to address the situation. That is humility. But address in a Vaishnava way. You confront in a Vaishnava way. You correct things in a Vaishnava way, but not in an arrogant way. Then comes respect. We need to respect everybody. Whether they are small or big, we need to respect everyone because they are souls, they are servants of Krishna. Even if they are not yet devotees, still deal with them with respect. So if we disrespect somebody, they become a pure devotee later. It will become an offense on our part. Suruchi disrespected Dhruva. At that time he was not a pure devotee. He was just a aggressive prince. But within 6 months he became a pure devotee. Then Lord Vishnu said, Suruchi disrespected you, she will die. Right? So let's not disrespect anybody. If you have to correct, do it in a dignified way, in a decent way. Desiring their welfare. But no hatred or no grudge in the heart. We should maintain that respectful attitude towards everyone. Similarly, don't hanker to be respected by others. Complete freedom from false prestige is very much required to be able to chant the names of Krishna always. So these are some thoughts on this shloka. I'll conclude here. Sri Chaitanya Siksastakam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All these qualities are present in Krishna. Krishna is very humble. Krishna is very tolerant. What is the proof? He has been tolerating us since time immemorial. When somebody acts against our will, against our desire, against our expectations, we become so annoyed. We can't tolerate. But Krishna has been tolerating us although we have been acting against His will since time immemorial. For millions of lifetimes. He has unlimited patience, unlimited tolerance. Krishna is so humble. When he speaks about himself, he only spoke 700 shlokas. Not even 700, less than 600. But when his devotees speak about Krishna, then they speak 18,000 shlokas or several lakhs of shlokas. That too, when Krishna speaks high about himself, that is only to give us confidence, give us hope, give us reassurance. So Krishna speaks about himself just to authoritatively present his position so that we develop the trust and devotion and faith in him. Otherwise Krishna is so humble. He doesn't speak so high about himself. He doesn't brag about himself. He doesn't boast about himself. Krishna is humble. Krishna is tolerant. Krishna is very respectful. One day when Krishna went for this Rajasuya sacrifice, Yudhishthira Maharaj came on his chariot, Krishna came on his chariot. Yudhishthira Maharaj was about to come and receive Krishna, but before that Krishna got down from his chariot, he ran towards Yudhishthira Maharaj's chariot and he received him respectfully. Can you just imagine? Why? Yudhishthira is the king. Krishna is not the king. Krishna is just a prince of Yadu dynasty living in Dwarka. Although he is the one who enthroned Ugrasen Maharaj, he is the one who erected the whole city of Dwarka, still he remained as a prince. He is not a king. He is giving that respect to the king. You know what was the duty that Krishna has taken upon himself in the Rajasuya sacrifice? Krishna was washing the feet of all the guests. So humble he is. Whichever Brahmana comes to his home, Krishna washes their feet. This is Krishna's respectful attitude. Similarly, Krishna is completely freed from false prestige. Amanina. The greatest respect that we can give to others is by recognizing them as servants of Krishna. The greatest respect that we can give to ourselves, self-respect, is to recognize ourselves as servants of Krishna. The greatest self-confidence we can have is to humbly dependent on Krishna. In spiritual life, the definitions of respect, definitions of self-respect, self-esteem, self-confidence, all this are connected to Krishna. The greatest self-respect is to recognize oneself as servants of Krishna. The greatest respect that we can give others is to recognize them as greater servants of Krishna, as amshas of Krishna. Then we'll respect them. But oftentimes we associate other people's material designations with their selves. Oh my God. Then we start respecting them or disrespecting them. Of course, we have to acknowledge and respect them for what they are on the social circles or on the material front also, no doubt. But at the same time, we need to understand that the real respect that I can give to any person is on the spiritual platform, not on the material platform. You may respect people for their beauty, for their wealth, for their talents, for their name, fame, prestige and influence in the society. Because they are the vibhutis of Krishna. Krishna has given them all those privileges. That's fine. To that degree, it's fine. But a respect which is higher than all these flavors of respect is seeing them as servants of Krishna, seeing them as potential devotees of Krishna. Sometimes when a young boy sees a young girl or a young girl sees a young boy, seeing the form of the opposite gender, whether it is beautiful or not so beautiful, they start loving them or hating them for the external form. But the internal spirit is so pure, so beautiful, connected to Krishna. But if we associate their physical beauty or lack of beauty with the self, we are disrespecting them. If we associate the self with the poverty-stricken condition or wealthy condition, we are disrespecting them. The real wealth of the soul is Krishna Prema. The real poverty of the soul is lack of Krishna Prema. That's how devotees see people in this world. Because of their humility, because of their spiritual consciousness. But when we have material vision, then we start looking people from a material perspective with material lens, and we start looking at ourselves also with the material lens only. Let's come out of this. That's what bhakti is meant to do to all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your class, and particularly the points around imbibing the emotion. You gave the example of Prahlad Maharaj in his prayers and then in Haridas Thakur, so thank you, that really stood out for me. My question was on the different words that define humility. One was Dana that you mentioned, forget some of the other ones, but is there a significance to the different words that describe humility, and are there kind of different levels of humility in that?
In where?
Like you mentioned Dainya as one word. I know there are other words that define humility as well. So I just wondered if there are kind of, or is it Dainya just the main one?
Dainya, Vinaya, Namrata, Sunichatva. These are different synonyms of humility. Is that what you are asking?
Yeah, is there any significance then? Like, are they different depths of humility, or they just mean different facets of humility, if that makes sense?
I don't know Sanskrit so much. You may have to ask. Any other question?
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for your class. My question was, how do you stop craving for that, validation? Because that's something that you said was a bit derogatory. That's how you described it. So how do you stop craving for that validation then?
To some degree, validation is required and good.
Yeah.
In the name of not seeking validation, we become overconfident. We become arrogant. I don't need anybody's validation. I know what to do in life. I am what I am. That might induce arrogance. So some approval, some validation, see it as a blessing and an acknowledgement, especially from devotees who are senior to us, who are our well-wishers. Let us seek their approval, their blessings, their permission for our proposals, their quote-unquote validation of our actions and thoughts and plans. So when another devotee evaluates our thoughts or plans and analyzes, oh, this is good, this is bad, these are pros, these are cons, oh fine, you can go in this direction, that plan that we have gets some authenticity, gets some blessings. So we should seek validation. But I understand when you said validation, it's more on the platform of seeking recognition, seeking attention. That we should transcend that need eventually. That happens when we align our thoughts and actions with the teachings of the scriptures, teachings of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So every time, for example, you are doing something in line with the Shastras. See, your friends in your school may say, why are you doing like this? Say there is not much acceptance in your social circles, for example, for what you are doing. Then you feel, oh, I didn't get validation of my social circles, my class friends. Maybe I should not do it. Means you are accepting a spiritual activity is dependent on your social approval more than the scriptural approval. Right? When you are doing something in line with the Guru, Sadhu and Shastra and their teachings, then you don't need validation of materialistic people around us or the general society around us. Right? So we need to have confidence in the Shastra. But as far as spiritual circles are concerned, yes, we try to take some decision or do some action. According to our understanding, it is in line with the Shastra. But if we get an approval and a blessing from a senior Vaishnava, they will evaluate, then they will give a heartfelt blessing. Yeah, this is good, you can go in this direction. That validation is very good for us. That's like a verification for us. But we need not try to impress people around us. The other facet of validation is trying to impress people. Yes, I should do things that are appealing to these people, pleasing to these people, whether in my speaking style or working style or dressing style or acting style. So I should impress them. I should get likes, more fans, more shares. So yeah, in modern society, most people are craving for that validation, and their pleasure or displeasure, satisfaction or dissatisfaction depends on how many people in the society are liking them. They want to be liked by others. But those who like us may not love us. Right? But those who love us may not like our activities. But it's good. It's coming from a space of love. Therefore, let's take their validation seriously. But others, so-called like, is not coming from the space of their love. Therefore, let's not take that seriously. So we need to develop the discrimination or discretion, whom to take seriously and whom not to take seriously. Make sense? Hari. Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, could you maybe give an example or elaborate anything you have seen in Guru Maharaj with any of these qualities?
All these qualities I have seen. All of us have seen.
Please.
Humility, respect, and tolerance, unlimited tolerance. He's tolerating us. I can say me. I cannot include you. So all we have seen. Any other question or comment? Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu, for your class. In the beginning, you said the more Krishna conscious we are, the more humble we become. Sometimes the more Krishna conscious we become, the more service we get. And the more service we get. And sometimes that can make a bigger halwa. Like we have a lot to juggle, and sometimes we forget how to draw the boundaries.
Correct.
So the question is, how do we draw boundaries between service, work, personal sadhana? Like, I think over the last 2 weeks we've observed how strict you are with your timings. But how can we imbibe that same mood where we're very strict with our personal sadhana and our service and not get carried away?
Yesterday's class. It was yesterday's class.
Oh,
You mentioned involunteer sangha.
okay. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Yes. Balancing. Correct. I forget what I said. Yes. I think you are there in that class? No, Mataji, you are,
No, I wasn't there.
maybe you can take the recording then. I don't have to answer it now. Basically, we need to prioritize balancing. Services are important, definitely, and on our own personal absorption, personal time to connect with Krishna through study or japa, that is also important. So we need to prioritize both. One more thing that I can say, which probably I have not said yesterday, I don't remember what I said yesterday, is when we have the intention to prioritize balancing our seva and sadhana, Krishna will give us the inspiration and intuition how to balance it. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantati. You know how Krishna will help us? Say we are struggling with so many services, for example, right? Struggling means like we are being stretched or we are occupied with so many services. You are not getting your personal time to either chant or hear or do some core sadhana. Your own most favorite spiritual activity, you are unable to do it. You know what Krishna does? If there is a sincere intention to save time for it, Krishna will increase our efficiency in doing these services, that if a service requires 2 hours, you will be able to effectively do it in 2 hours only, in 1 hour only, in half an hour only. Initially I used to design these flyers, maybe 15 years back, 10 years back also. So flyers for our Prerana programs in Chowpatty and other things, I used to take several hours, maybe a couple of days, almost a week, one poster I was designing. But eventually the design became like 1 hour or half an hour, and quickly 5 minutes also you can do something and then just do it. Understand where is it needed, what is the applicability of this, what is the visibility of this, how much does this activity deserve my attention or time. You will be able to evaluate that and you optimize your time. Many times, although we have multiple services, we end up wasting more time in a service that doesn't deserve so much of our attention. So we need to effectively utilize our time, just minimize the time, optimize the time. So if some service requires 2 hours, if with some expertise, we'll be able to do it in 1 hour only. Of course, some things you have to spare the time. Aarti 20 minutes, We cannot say, I will effectively do it. Faster service. Faster service, I will just finish Arti in 5 minutes only. Then it cannot be called Arti. Japa. Okay, it might take say 7 minutes or 6 minutes to complete a round. I'll just fast, then finish in 3 minutes only. I'm not speaking about that. But there are other trivial things that we do, services that we do, which we can effectively manage. Sometimes meetings take a lot of time. Right? We just take one issue and keep on analyzing it from 100 perspectives, and we end up wasting time. We will not come to a decision. So keep some deadline, keep some target, and then move ahead. So minimize the time spent on it. We should know when to move forward and when to go deep. When to go deep and when to move forward. We should be able to discern it. Some things are not worth sparing so much time. Just move ahead. In our classes, for example, like when we are discussing in our Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Shastri classes, some shlokas are very simple. They are describing storyline. We will not go deeper into the Sanskrit of these words. We will just read the translation and move ahead. But some shlokas, they are like Siddhanta Poshaka shlokas. They are describing Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Lila. They are worth memorizing. They are worth meditating on for a long, long time. So, in such shlokas, we just go we discuss every single word. Prayers, we analyze every word and go deep into it and relish it. So, we should know when to move forward and when to go deep. Thus, we'll save time, optimize time. We'll have time left for core Krishna conscious sadhana, Shravanam Kirtanam. Makes sense?
One last question.
Done. All questions are over. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.